Good morning, afternoon, everybody. Getting your view here. So, I'm today going to make some, what are these called? They're called Chewy honey ginger cookies. And they're a family favorite. And I always used to bring these to things like, back before COVID, when you'd bring something, I would bring these to anything like a holiday thing that had Christmas cookies or whatever. So today is the first video too that I'm going to be doing of stock your freezer, my freezer, and get ready for Christmas. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make triple batches of one kind of cookie, like every other day maybe, wrap them up, put them in the freezer, and then maybe the second week of December, I'll go ahead and do a mass cookie baking, and I won't have all of the mess of preparing the cookie dough. It'll be ready just to go at it and bake it. And I much prefer doing it that way. Back when I was younger, I had more energy. I do it all in one day, baking and mixing and all of that. But now, I kind of like just to do it regular, like I'm doing it now. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take a half a stick of real butter. I like to use real butter. That's just me. Here's my, Pioneer Woman. I got this. I think it's one of the two things I have that belong to her line. They're very colorful, her things. So, there's the butter in there. And I've got a stick of butter flavor Crisco. So the reason that I use butter flavor Crisco and not plain Crisco is I like that butter flavor, even though it's not real butter. It adds a little butter flavor to it. So butter flavor Crisco looks like this. It's yellow rather than blue or white, and comes in 3 sticks to a package, and each stick is a half a cup. So I date my things in the pantry. This one says that it expires on April of 22, because I've been stocking up and I don't want things to go bad. So I'm going to go ahead and get this going real good. It says just to mix it until it's blended on medium or whatever. I'll stop it for a minute. Take it down off the sides of the mixer. I'll show you in a minute. I'll tip the bowl. Here we go. There we go. Okay, so that's done. So now this part is finished. Is it really? Let's see. Half cup of some real butter softened. Yeah, it's finished for now. We're going to take the dry ingredients now. The dry ingredients are going to be 2 cups of flour into a separate bowl. That's done. It's all-purpose regular white flour is what I use. And then 1 tablespoon of ground ginger, 2 teaspoons of baking soda, 1/8 teaspoon of salt, and 1/8 teaspoon of ground cloves, all in this bowl here. I'm going to put that in. This is so easy. It takes no time at all, really. Mix that together. Set it back over here out of the way. Whoops, I was going to show you my cloves and my cinnamon. My cloves and my ginger. I had to buy new ginger the other day. Somebody said to me, they know that I have lupus, and the kind of lupus that I have affects skin, organs. It's not visible usually unless I'm flaring, and in the last year or two it's gotten significantly worse. So I am having flares all the time, and a lot of times you'll see I'll have a bad, what looks like acne across my face. And so sometimes if it's real bad, I'll actually cut my face off in the videos. And she said, why do you do that? And I was saying, well, this is why. And she said, you should mention that in your video so people don't think that, maybe you're just doing it wrong by not showing your face. And I really don't mean to do that. And I know that there are people that have more challenges, bigger challenges than that, but that's just how I was going to deal with it. And maybe I won't deal with it that way anymore. Maybe I'll just be out with it. This is how I am. This is me. Sun exacerbates the facial stuff. So, and it's not just facial, it's all skin that gets sun will flare. So I stay out of the sun as much as I can in the summertime, and I'll go out at night, which is, it's fine with me. And then in the winter, especially here in the Pacific Northwest, it's no big deal to be out. There's hardly any sun. I imagine if I stayed out for hours and it was a sunny day in the winter, it would make a deal, but usually it's not a big deal. Okay, back to this. So this is all done. I've got the butter flavored Crisco and the real butter going. So now I'm going to take a cup of granulated white sugar, and whoops, I'm going to get this out of there, and just pour this in on medium. It says gradually. I have a hard time doing anything gradually, I think. I went out with friends for my lunch yesterday. It was so much fun to get out and talk to other women because I don't live with any other women. I don't see any other women. I had my clam chowder that I was going to have, and I was thrilled with it. Okay, so after you get the sugar in here and it's well blended, I'm going to scrape it down again. Then you want to turn it up a little higher. Did I make a mess? Like it says on high. Woo-hoo, and you make it fluffy. And it grows in fluff and volume. So then, seems fluffy to me. Now I want to add my honey. So this is my honey jar. I get my honey from a little local bee farm down the road in a place called Key Center, I think it is. I'm not sure. But anyway, I got the little honey dipper thing off the Amish mercantile catalog last winter. I got this and a couple of other things, just inexpensive, and it just fit on my canning jar lid. It was really nice. So here's my 1/4 cup of honey that has to go in here now. And I got a little scraper because I know this is going to be a thick affair and hard to get out. It's funny because I have another jar of honey that I got from even closer by in my same town, and it is so much lighter than this honey. This honey is super dark. I don't know if you can, super dark looking honey, and it tastes less sweet and more molassesy, if that makes sense. And I know that it depends on what the bees have been chowing on. You know, wildflowers or whatever, you know. So I mix this in. And then it says I need to put in an egg. And I'm going to crack my egg in my measuring cup so I don't have to fish a shell out of there. And I just using a size large grocery store egg. And see, I did it. There is shell in this. A little bit of Kinder's fingers in every meal. I got it. In goes the egg. Now I'm going to scrape this down in a minute. I'm glad I didn't have to get that shell out of this batter for sure. What is that? No, it's honey. I thought I did get more in there. So there's bits of honey here and there that I need to scrape down. This cookie has always been really popular with adults. Kids like it too, but adults really seem to like it. Probably because it doesn't taste as sweet as it does chewy and warm and aromatic, you know. Would be very good with your morning coffee. Ask me how I know. Okay, back to this. Let's see. So medium pine to fluffy honey, egg, and vanilla. Here's my vanilla that I made. And I'm gonna put the recipe below, but give me, after I put up the video, because that can take me 2 hours. After I put up the video, I'm gonna put down the recipe underneath, but I can't do it until the video comes up. Unless there's some secret to it that I don't know. So I need a teaspoon. This is a 1/2 teaspoon. Another 1/2. And we're good. Oh, you know what I forgot to mention too? This is such a chewy cookie, and I think the reason that it is, because I researched it, is because when you add shortening to a cookie recipe, it does add chew. It helps it to be more chewy. Go figure. So, let's see. Now I have to slowly add in this dry ingredients, the flour, salt, spices, and whatnot. I feel like I'm making much more of a mess than I usually do. And I have a plastic thing that you can shoot, a plastic chute for this, and I never use it. I don't know why. Guess I'd rather scrub this mixer every time. Okay. Today is Friday. I guess Sunday is Halloween. No trick-or-treaters here. I miss it so much because we're out in the sticks. Nobody's going to come down this pitch black lane. To trick-or-treat. And there's no houses, so there's very few anyway. Okay, and that's good. So, what I do after I get this done is I take a cookie pan, line it with parchment. I use the parchment squares because it's so much easier. I use a cookie ball scoop, so they're all the same size and all cook at the same speed. I might have a problem. There's a drawer over there that has about 7 of these in different sizes. And Patty Wamsher, she started me on this lane. It's her fault. I'm glad she did. Years ago, she gave me some cookie scoop. 8 cookie scoop. The rest of them are all my problem. She was there at lunch yesterday. We were talking about how long we've known each other, and a long time. Better than 25 years, we think, for sure. Probably closer to 30. Now then, I'm going to take this paddle off. When this gets done, when I'm ready to put it away, I'll show you how to store it for the freezer because I want it to stay good and fresh and not get yucky. So you should know too that when you use parchment, if you've never used it before, you don't need to do any kind of a spray. Shoot, I forgot the one thing. See, cut. Towel. So what I do is I take my turbinado sugar, grab that and this. Sure wish I knew how to edit. Maybe Connie knows how to edit. You might have a different kind of phone. Anyway, this is turbinado sugar. I call it raw sugar. I think it can be called both. I took a cup of it and I put it in this bowl. And then on top of that, I put in some cinnamon. So now it's cinnamon raw sugar. And it makes, when you bite into the cookie, it makes a crunchy, spicy start. And then the finish of the bite is a chew. So it's a really nice, just a nice bite. Hard to explain. This is really soft. So what I do is take it in a scoop, drop it in the sugar, and start it, and then put sugar on top. Now it's easier to pick up, and it won't make such a mess. I'm going to put it right there on that same spot. Nobody will know. Don't tell. So we go on and on and on, and we put probably 9, 6, depending on the size of your cookie sheet. You want to bake them at 350 degrees for 10 minutes. Depending on how big your scoops are and how hot your oven gets to, and ovens are all different, it's going to be how you cook it, how long. But 350, 10 minutes is the recipe. So I'm going to show you what it looks like when it's done. So here they are when they're finished. I can smell that these cooked a little bit higher. My husband would say no, they're perfect. They're not too brown or anything. I can smell a difference. So when you break it, it's kind of a pull to get it apart. Really, really nice. And when you bite into it, there's that crack of the raw sugar with cinnamon, and then the really chew of the middle of the cookie. It's delicious. So, again, I'm going to go ahead and put that information below. Probably take me at least, well, a while to get it done because I don't edit well. Okay, so when this dough that I just made is ready, because I'm feeding the freezer with the Christmas dough, what I'm going to do is put it in on a piece of parchment paper flat. And I'm going to fold it over and make a disc out of it. So it's not a frozen ball. It takes longer to thaw when you want to bake that day that you're doing your baking. So I put it in a disc and I wrap it in the parchment, because parchment just slides right off, whether it's frozen or thawed or whatever. And so then after it's done like that, I put it into a Ziploc baggie. I'll show you. This isn't in the freezer yet. It's going in the freezer. So wrapped in parchment into a Ziploc baggie. And then in another baggie, a sandwich size baggie, I have slipped a 3x5 card that says Chewy Honey Ginger Cookies. And the recipe, not the recipe, I'm sorry, the roll in walnut size balls, roll balls in sugar, bake on parchment paper lined cookie sheets, 350, 10 minutes. It would have more information if somebody didn't know what these were. Like it would have the recipe, but it, you know. So, the next thing I'll do is another kind of cookies, and I'll go on and on and on until I have about 7 or 8 kinds of cookies. And then the second week of December, bake them off, send them out to friends and relatives, and I'm done in a day. Yeehaw! This is going to go in the freezer later. The big freezer out in the shed. So, I'm going to bake off this last thing so my family can eat a dozen cookies, because I have to give them some, right? I took up the whole kitchen. What else do I want to say? I think that's it. Hope you have a really good day. And if you want to see more cookies, subscribe, because I'm going to be doing them one after another until I get those cookies finished off. And go out and find some joy. Bye.